Hey everybody, it's Justice for Comics. I wanted to shoot a quick video highlighting some hot news that has come out here yesterday. As many of you might know, I'm pretty good friends with YouTuber Jim's Comics, and his video that premiered yesterday is highlighting some stuff that's coming out regarding Carnage and Donny Cates. And if you check out CBR.com, there was an article probably midday yesterday, if you're on the East Coast, talking about a new title coming out later this year. I think November, December is going to be the issue on this. It's a Web of Venom, and you can see that's going to be the cover, which is pretty cool, highlighting Carnage. And Donny Cates, is being interviewed here, and he talks about how when he was younger, obviously he was a big Venom fan, and one of the things that influenced him quite a bit in comics was his reading of a book called Carnage Mind Bomb, which came out, I guess, back in 1996. So, pretty old for those who are fairly new to comics. I've been in comics 35 years, so I definitely remember buying comic books in the 90s, mid 90s. I don't ever remember seeing that one. I was sort of a Venom fan. I remember I had probably the original Venom comic, and for some reason over the years, I lost it, or I still don't have the first appearance of Venom, Amazing 300. I do have the first appearance of Carnage in high grade, and also the first cameo of Carnage. So I've always been a Carnage fan. I think it adds a higher level of intensity, having a psychopath, also having access to a symbiote. And I think that's also why the Red Goblin got a lot of attention here recently. Somebody who's got mental illness and deranged having access to a symbiote is obviously a bad combination. So this is a hot book right now. Here's what the Carnage Mind Bomb cover looks like. So it's kind of a red foil. It also, I've seen pictures of it where it looks like this, but I think it's just a camera shot on it. So there isn't two covers. I think when I first was looking at this, I thought, well, is there two covers? Is there one where he's red and one where he's blacked and darked out? But nope, that's just bad camera shot on that photo. So this is what it looks like. So after I watched this video, I went on and found a couple copies on eBay. Looks like they're all sold now. There are two copies for sale, but they're auctions. One is a CGC 9.8 graded copy. There's 4 days left on the auction. I think it's already up over $200. So I got real lucky. I bought a couple copies yesterday. I also bought a CGC 9.8 graded for a little over $100, which was a pretty good deal. I went back and looked at the price history on that book, and literally 3 days before, somebody sold one for $49, a CGC 9.8 graded. Man, you talk about the worst sale of a lifetime. That's going to be probably a $400 or $500 book here, at least in the short term. Long term, who knows what that book's going to do. But the fact that Cates is tying this original comic into another one shot that's coming out that specifically talks about Carnage and Venom, and that it's going to be kind of a mind-blowing issue. It's going to change some things in the Spider-Man universe. So obviously there's some heat on this book. I don't expect that to die anytime soon. We've got several months before that Web of Venom comes out, and this book is probably going to be the hottest book until that book comes out. I have no doubt that this is going to continue to be a hot book. The print run on this is very, very low. Mid-90s, most of you, I don't know if you remember, Image Comics, I think, was started in 91 or 92. The comic book industry kind of bubbled and blew up. So right around 95, 96, 97, those years, the comic book market was in disarray. It was very low print runs on most books. Marvel, who was still the top company, was not selling comic books very well. That's why most of their print runs are low. Just so you know, if a company has a low print run, it means there's not a lot of people buying their books, right? Because they create the print run based on pre-orders. So Diamond, who is the largest distributor, the only distributor, right, in the comic book industry, they communicate with DC and Marvel and Image and all the independents regarding pre-orders. So if a lot of people are pre-ordering a book, the publisher knows, hey, we better print a shitload of these books. So, I mean, it's not brain surgery here, right? It's pretty simple. So there wasn't a lot of people buying this book. Carnage, I do remember there was a shit ton of Carnage books that were out at that time. It got overplayed. So this is a real sleeper. You know, you might have it in a collection. Maybe I mean, you might be able to find it in dollar bins. I don't know. It's so low print run though. I mean, I think there were less than 10,000 of these printed. Maybe way less. I'll have to see if I can find some evidence of the original print run, or if there's any documented evidence of that. But it sounds like it's really low. Also, I want to check the CGC census on how many graded copies there are. Obviously, of 9/8, I think there's a decent amount. When I was on eBay, there were 3 or 4 9/8 buy it nows. They're all gone now, of course, but there were several on there. So I don't think it's that elusive, but definitely a low print run. And talking about print runs, you know, everybody kind of knew about this book that just came out this week. I went to a couple of my local shops. Batgirl 25, another Middleton cover, which I love this cover. It's an awesome cover. Love the artwork there. It to me, artistically, it's just as good as 23, which of course is a big book now. That's a $65, $70 book. But you're not going to see the price of this thing go up that much. Maybe in a few months, maybe in a year, you'll see this thing rise to maybe 15 or 20 bucks. But I will imagine for a while now, you'll be able to buy this for cover or slightly over cover. Even though it's a hot book, there's a lot of people that wanted to buy it. But again, the publisher DC knew that the attention on this book was high because of the pre-orders. I pre-ordered this book. You know, I've got probably more copies than I should have ordered. I probably have 5 or 6 copies of this book. You know, definitely I over ordered on it. You know, you just don't know at the time that people are going to catch on to it. But people are caught on to Middleton. They know he's a great artist. I don't think you'll see another Middleton cover go for crazy money again. Just because I think the print runs on anything he produces is going to be definitely higher than normal. So on this comic book, we don't know the print run on it yet, but I would imagine it's way over 25,000. It might be 50,000, which for a Batgirl comic is very high. There's not a lot of people that were really buying Batgirl. If you look at Comic-Con, some of their sales numbers in previous months, you know, sales to shops. I mean, so sales to shops and distributors was maybe 20,000 at the most. I think it was around 10 to 15 most months. Now it's way over that. So, you know, the cat's out of the bag. Everybody knows Middleton covers are hot. And just like anything else, when everybody knows it's great, it ceases being so. So it doesn't matter if it's comic books, stock market, whatever it may be. If something's deemed a collectible and everybody knows it's a fantastic thing to buy, that makes it not a fantastic thing to buy. I mean, I was around for Superman, the Death of Superman. What was that? Superman number 75, and I remember I bought my one copy, but I didn't buy multiple copies. I bought one copy in the black, you know, the black sealed poly bag. I bought one because I knew that book was really never going to be worth anything. Why? Because they had hyped that comic book like crazy, and everybody knew about it. Everybody thought, hey, I'm going to buy this comic book, I'm going to make a bunch of money off of it. Nope. The thing you want to try to buy is something that nobody's paying attention to, right? Nobody is even caring about, which until a couple days ago, Carnage Mind Bomb, I don't even think I remember this comic book even being out there. I certainly don't remember it being on the shelf when I was buying comic books. Although I wasn't a big heavy buyer of comic books in the mid 90s, like a lot of people, I kind of fallen away from the industry. I was doing other things and I wasn't into comic books as much. So this is, again, supply and demand, right? Supply is very low on this Carnage book. Supply on this book is pretty high. So the demand is probably going to be fairly low on this. So I don't expect this book to rise a lot. I love it. I think it's a great image long term, 20 years from now, 30 years from now. I think this will be one of those iconic covers that I think it will be worth money over a long, long period of time because it's a classic image. It's a fantastic image. So I still would buy one if I were you. You know, just don't overpay. Definitely pay cover price or lower. I don't think you'll have I don't think you'll have a hard time at all paying cover price for this. Another book I wanted to mention that's heating up, it's pretty hot right now, is Aquaman 39. This is another Middleton cover. Certainly everybody knows about Middleton now, but this one seems to still be in high demand. It definitely is selling for over cover. A couple of my shops still had some on the wall, but very few. So I think the print run on this is still a lot lower, certainly lower than Batgirl 25 is my guess. It's a great image. I love it. Middleton did one, I think it was Aquaman 32, it was near the beginning of the year. I think it came out in February or March. And that today is still one of my favorite covers. And I think when it came out, it got up to maybe $7, $8 at the most. I bought, 2 or 3 copies of it, and today you can buy it almost for cover. And in my opinion, it's way undervalued. That Aquaman 32 book is fantastic. The cover on that, it literally looks like Mira is underwater. The effect and the artwork on it is fantastic. So long term, I think these Middleton covers will kind of be like buying Adam Hughes early. It kind of reminds me of that specific style. He's very good at drawing women. Adam Hughes, same thing. I would love to have a bunch of those early Xantanas in my collection where Hughes did the cover on those. Those are big books now. Those are $40, $50 a piece. And there's nothing going on in those books. There's no first appearances, nothing. It's literally worth money because of the cover artwork. So I think long term that will be the case with Middleton as well. So a lot of these early issues of Aquaman and Batgirl, I think will do well just based on the cover artwork. So this one, if you see it in your shop, try to buy it at cover. I know on eBay it's selling maybe $12 to $15 range, so it hasn't exploded. It's not. I don't think it's going to be a $25, $30 book. I think the print run on this is definitely higher, and it's also one of the best stories in DC, I believe, is Aquaman. So if you haven't been reading the Aquaman series, you definitely should. Abnett has been doing very, very well writing it. It's one of my favorite titles in DC right now. So I kind of want to highlight those books. Also, real quick, I had shown this in my last video, Hellboy #1, The Wild Hunt. This book is definitely getting attention. This is the variant copy. There's only 1,000 of these, so it's a Dark Horse 100 special edition. I think there's still one or two of these still on sale on eBay, which is unbelievable. I think it's around $40, $50. I think that's a great buy. The Wild Hunt #2 obviously is the book everybody's asking or looking for. This is the first appearance of the Blood Queen. I ended up getting 2 copies of those. I don't think I paid more than $10 or $15 for them, so I got them, fairly early, good price on them. And it looks like they're still going for around $50, $60 on eBay. I think a week ago, there was a couple recorded sales over 100. I think there was one at like 130, maybe one at 140. But, there's going to always be people that chase a comic book. I don't think it's worth that much. $50, $60, it's probably a fair price for this book. It might go up a little bit more when the movie comes out, depending on how well the movie does, how well the movie is produced. I do like the fact that they've got 2 good actors in it so far. They've named the guy from Stranger Things. I can't remember his name; it escapes me at the moment. And then the villain, the Blood Queen, is going to be Milovich. I'm butchering that name. You know her from the Resident Evil movies. Obviously, she's a big action star. She was in The Fifth Element. So, it's pretty good. It sounds like the casting so far is pretty good on it. So we'll see how it compares to the older ones that were done. But I've always been a big Hellboy fan. I love the movies. The older movies are fantastic. So I have some high hopes for this. So that would be one that you want to, if you can find it out in the wild for cheap, I would buy it for sure. Also, this week, Infinity Wars #2 came out, and there was a Chase variant. So this has, instead of having the Requiem mask on, it's got Gamora's face. That book is heating up. It's $30, $40. It was $34 right away. Like, I looked the day before. I heard about this the day before on Tuesday. Called a bunch of shops. I have no idea. It's random. A couple of the shop owners didn't even know about it. I kind of kicked myself for that. I should have just walked in and been one of the first customers on Wednesday morning. I probably could have grabbed 2 of these at least. I ended up getting one. There was one shop owner that I'm good friends with that was kind enough to hold one for me. I think and he's a big store, and I think he only got like 4 or 5 copies. So he was kind enough to hold one of them for me, and I bought it at cover. So not a bad deal. $5 book that's instantly going for $30 to $40 on eBay. And the story's been pretty good. I love the story so far. I think it's really good. I like where they're taking Gamora. I think she's definitely going to be a bigger character in the Marvel Universe, and it's going to be interesting to see where they go with this. And the artwork inside, Deotto's artwork, I've been following his artwork for a while. It's the best I've seen him do. It's unbelievably good. The detail, the action, the flow of it is fantastic. So I highly, highly recommend you pick up this series. You'll really, really enjoy it. So that's kind of what I wanted to show everybody. I know that was I said it was a quick video. It's 17 minutes now. A little bit off there. So I know I kind of threw a lot of information on there. But again, I'd love to hear your comments, what you think of these books, what you think of these some of these comic book series, if you think they're going to go a different direction. Yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell for notifications, and I will be posting a video probably over the weekend. Hope everybody has a great week, and I'll see you soon. Thanks.